everyone, and welcome to Friday Favorites. It's a time where I share all of the things that I am loving for the week. Sometimes I talk about the previous week. Since it's every other week, you will find me sharing some of my favorite things that I am enjoying or that I recommend or that I've tried before and can't live without. So let's get started with Friday Favorites. Today on the show, I'm going to be talking about all of the fun things that you need to take with you on a cruise. Now, I know not everyone is going on a cruise, so some of these are interchangeable to a vacation, an overnight weekend trip, or you can save them, jot them down for future use when you're going on vacation, maybe in the summer. So this past January, I went on a fun cruise with my girlfriend Lisa. We had a blast, even though there was some crazy weather and we were not able to land or to dock near the private island, and we were so looking forward to it, but it just didn't happen. But we made the best of it. We just kind of sunbathed out when we were out to sea, literally just docked in the middle of nowhere our ship docked in the middle of nowhere, and we just stood out there and just enjoyed the sunshine and the warm weather. Meanwhile, back in Nashville, it was a little chilly. So we were having a good time nonetheless. One of the things that I wish I had is that, and they don't really tell you how windy it can get on deck, but it's fairly windy, and I have a thing about wind. It really does make me cold. I like places that don't have a lot of wind, so I liked having I wish I had taken a light sweatshirt. I bought a sweatshirt at Key West, and so I had a nice sweatshirt to put over my bathing suit. I had a little top, but it still wasn't warm enough for me. I get a little cold. I'm pretty cold-natured, but I wish that I had brought a little zip-up hoodie to wear in those cool and windy evenings on deck. The other thing I wish I had brought with me are these funky little clips. They look like clothespins, and I'm going to find them for you and link them to the show notes. Some of them look like they're hot pink or yellow, but they clipped your towel to the back of your chair, to the back of your chair on deck, because like I said, it gets really windy up on deck and your towel can kind of flap around. Plus it saves your spot, because a lot of people go and stake their claim on the best chairs, and there were times when we just didn't have a chair. We just didn't get a chair, so we had to sit somewhere and wait. So it's always nice to maybe take your stuff up, or a few things up on deck, and kind of stake your claim on a chair so that you can either get good. We were on a good side where we can get the sunset, watch the sunset, or get optimal sun rays. And also for the show, they always had a little contest, or you could hear the music, or there would be dancers down below. So always kind of stake your claim on a chair and take those clips to clip your towel to the back of to the chair. The other thing that I did not bring, and I wish I had, was my Yeti cup, or any kind of Orca or some type of insulated cup. I wish I had brought my cup with my straw. When you are dining, in the buffet area or morning breakfast or what have you, they just kind of give you these tiny little cups, and it's just not enough to really, they look like those small, years ago people would give you tiny glasses of orange juice. I mean, it's almost thimble size to me. So I drink a lot. I love lots of liquids, and so I wish I had brought a bigger cup. I did have a water bottle that I filled up, but it wasn't as insulated as I would have liked it. I would have liked it to have had a straw. So I just basically brought a water bottle, but not one with a straw. And I saw a lot of people that had that. And I don't know if they were able to get cocktails in that. That would have been really cool because it would have kept everything. Like if you got a fruity drink that's maybe like a frozen daiquiri or something, it would have kept it frozen and, rather than just kind of melting, because they just kind of give it to you in those flimsy sort of, just not solo cups, but clear plastic cups. So it's almost best to get your own cup. And I think that's what they were doing. I think they were able to go and get like a refill if you had like an all you can drink type plan. Another thing that I saw people using were lanyards, like those things around your neck. I have a lanyard that I used to wear when I taught, and it's a nicer one. It's like a Vera Bradley. So I would have taken that if I had known, but because they have a card, and they give you a card that you check when you check in, and that's the card that's like part of your meal plan. It almost felt like college. It's part of your meal plan. It's your ID. You use it when you get off ports. But I wish I had had something that I could slip it into with maybe some money or whatever. And the other thing that I would have brought and I didn't was like a crossbody bag that was big. Like my girlfriend Lisa brought like quite a large bag. It was one of those, like, it's sort of like all like one piece. It almost looks like one piece of fabric kind of folded up to make like a shoulder strap. So I wish I had brought something like that, or I wish I had brought a nice cloth type backpack, as I really am loving backpacks. And I did bring one. I have my carry-on is my backpack, as you know. I don't know if y'all noticed in my store on Amazon, I have linked there my backpack that I just love. It's a carry-on. It's my carry-on, and it has my computer. But it's black, and it's not summery. It doesn't go with any of my outfits. So I wish that I had like a small purse backpack that's cloth. So I'm going to be on the lookout. So if you know of one, will you comment below, or comment either on Facebook, on YouTube, or on my Instagram with this post, because I would love to find something that's like a cloth type, maybe drawstring, but possibly not drawstring, one that already has the backpack shoulder part already in place, so it gives it structure. I'm not really loving things that don't have a lot of structure. I want a structured bag. Now I will tell you some things that I did not bring. Again, most of this is what I didn't bring and what I should have brought. So you're getting a great lesson here, because this is one thing that I wish that I had not brought, and I guess it's several things, but I really overpacked, and I wish that I had brought more long sleeve, nice, like summery looking long sleeve shirts. Like I said, I get a little chilly. It was the middle of winter, so it wasn't summer. So most of the ports, and there was some bad weather out here and there. So it wasn't like extremely hot. It was a bit just average, like 70s, maybe 80s, but it wasn't extremely hot. I mean, we were able to wear shorts and short sleeve, but only from, like 10 to about like 3, and then it starts, the sun starts going down and it starts getting a little chilly. So I wish I had brought some long sleeve shirts. Now, I've talked about packing and how I try to be a minimalist when I pack. And I did a pretty good job, but I wish that I had brought, like I said, longer sleeves. But I wish that I had also brought more shirts than pants. I think I brought like a pair of shorts, some jeans, and another pair of pants as well. But I feel like I brought a little bit too many short sleeve, and I wish I had brought some long sleeve shirts. So more next time I go, I'll pack like more like easy shirts that are like kind of slinky, if that makes sense. Like the fabric is like, when you roll it up, it's smaller, so it doesn't have the structure in the shirt. So it's more like not polyester, but not maybe little spandex-y type shirts. So I wish I'd brought more of those, because I wanted to have variety, and I wish that some of them had been a little bit dressier than just your average like cruise wear. Because at night, we'd go to the comedy club, we'd go sit at the bar, and I just wanted a little something extra that kind of made me look like I was dressed up a little bit. So you're probably wondering, like, what did you bring that made this hot list? And one of those things is just, I did bring an extra beach bag that I had folded up and put in my carry-on. So I loved my beach bag. That's what I brought when I went to ports. But like I said, I wish I had had a backpack. And I'm glad that I brought a beach cover-up. It was just something I could throw over. And some people had really cute little maxi dresses that they put as cover-up. I would have liked that as well. My cover-up was a long sleeve blue and white cover-up, and I love it. And so that was fun to have taken. I love that. The other thing that I took that makes this hot list, it's a must. It's like one of the musts for going on a cruise, is a over-the-counter medication called Bonine. And Bonine, it's very, it's all natural. So it's not like Dramamine where it will make you drowsy. I did bring some Dramamine just in case. But using the Bonine and using some patches, which I'll get information about the patches and the Bonine, and I'll post those on the show notes. But the patches and the Bonine together really made a big difference. The last time I was on a cruise, I really just tossed my cookies. It was awful. The boat was rocking back and forth. This was the last time. This time, it was a bigger boat and it wasn't rocking as much, but that very first night when we took off, it still made me feel a little queasy. And although I really do I attribute the not getting nauseous part to the Bonine and the patches. I don't think that I would have felt as great. I mean, it just kind of lasted for a little while, and then we all, I guess, got used to it because it was still rocking. Things were still going, on, but it just didn't feel as bad on our tummies. So I highly, highly recommend those two. They also have these little bracelets that have the pressure points on your wrist, and you can purchase those over the counter as well. The last time I got my Bonine, when I did an order on my Walmart grocery pickup. I knew the name, so I just Googled, I just put it in the search, and it came up, and so I just bought it there. So I'm sure it's everywhere, but I highly recommend that. So the next thing on my hot list is hats. I did bring 2 different hats. I brought like a sort of a baseball hat, but it's a visor. And I brought a really nice straw hat. The straw hat was probably not the best for the cruise because it really needed a strap. If you find a straw hat with a strap that you love, please let me know what that is, because I want to get one for the beach this summer. it's windy, so baseball hats and visors, with a ponytail, they stay on a lot better. Otherwise, you'd have to put some kind of chopstick or something in a bun, and it's just too much trouble. So I really didn't wear my hat as much, but I wish that I had had one that had a strap, because it, like I said, it does get windy and you'll lose it. It just gets blown away. The other thing that I recommend, if you're going to these small Caribbean ports like Nassau, Bahamas, or any of the islands there, is to make sure that you have dollar bills. So I just was lucked out that I had a lot of dollar bills with me, singles, because it was easy to, because they want, certain things cost certain amounts of money. And so, like taxis or like a shuttle here and there, it's just easier when you have dollar bills when you go to port and giving them that rather than trying to make change. It's just easier for them, and it's easier for you to know. Here's some recommendations though that I want to share with you. Number one, one of the reasons that my last, not this past one, but the one before cruise was so bad was that I lost my luggage, or actually someone took my luggage. I highly recommend that you pack light and keep your luggage with you. I mean, really, you're only going to be in like bathing suits and shorts. Really pare down and get it down to a minimal carry-on, and a carry-on suitcase and a little backpack or a big purse. You have no idea what it's like. They lost my luggage on the very first cruise I took. I've only taken two. And I had nothing to wear that whole week. So this time around, I said, I am not departing with my suitcase. I even watched it. I made sure it got on the vehicle I was riding in. I made sure they shut the door. I made sure it was there. Same thing, and it was with me the entire time. It also makes for a really easy on and off, and you can just start your day. So you should have seen all of the luggage, all of the suitcases piled high right outside the ship, ready to embark on our trip, and literally no one was really watching them. Like, any one of us could have taken a suitcase if we wanted. They just don't watch them like you would, and it's valuable to you because you need it for the entire trip. So like, you need like underwear and clothes, and so keep your packing to a minimum and take a carry-on and keep it with you. And also it helped with, once we disembarked, we could just leave. We didn't have to wait on our luggage, because a lot of people put their luggage out. It's like a whole ordeal. Like, people had like huge pieces of luggage that were almost as big as a middle school kid. It's just, they're huge. And so they had to wait for someone to come and get their luggage. You kind of had to get like a number, a color, to get on a schedule for them to come and get your luggage. Same thing when you got there. Luggage was not going to be delivered until that evening. So you're going like a whole long time without your luggage. So that's my advice. Keep your luggage with you. So one last bit of advice for you concerning when you're going to a port. Oh, and I want to make sure that they have excursions at each port, but if you just Google and figure it out on your own, you'll probably save a whole lot of money. For example, I think one of the tours that I noticed, I think they were charging us like $79, and the actual tour was $19. So make sure that you're checking in, prices, and and all you really need to do is to get off the port, find a taxi or an Uber, and get there and get back on time. So don't be fearful of doing things on your own. I wish that that would have saved me a lot of money and a lot of time. Actually, I didn't pay for it, but it was one of those perks that came with your cabin. But I feel like I wasted some time because it had to be through a certain company and they just took longer because they had a bigger group. So I wish I had just done it on my own, done my own thing. In fact, I met a cute family from Colombia, and they were just like, yeah, we just got off and we went to a beach and, and looked around. And I mean, they just kind of made their own fun. And I thought that was really good, just kind of sticking to something like that where you just do your own thing. So I highly recommend that. Now, the last thing I wanted to tell you is bartering and feeling overwhelmed when especially Bahamas and maybe even Jamaica, some of those countries where they just kind of bombard you and want you to purchase things. They want to braid your hair. They want to sell you some snacks or drinks, or they want to rent chairs or umbrella or something on the beach. So here's my advice. So I knew what I wanted when I got to the beach. I knew we wanted to sit down with an umbrella. Not that it was extra sunny. I mean, it was sunny, but I just like being under an umbrella and some chairs. So, on some chairs. So anyway, I had a number in my head, and which is what I was willing to pay for 2 chairs and an umbrella. So the beach guy came up and he's like, hey, pretty lady, what would you like some chairs? And I said, well, how much? And he said the chairs are 10 each. An umbrella is like 15 or something crazy like that. And I said, no, thanks. And he kept on bugging me. And I said, okay, well, this is what I'll do. I will give you $20 for 2 chairs and an umbrella. So he said, oh no, I'm going to go broke. And I didn't feel bad because he has a decision. If he's going to go broke by selling that, by giving me that, then so be it. Don't take the offer. But I'm offering something that I thought was worth that money. So I thought $20 for a beach chair and 2 beach chairs and an umbrella is worth $20 for me, and while I sit on this beach. But, you just have to stake your claim on what you want and be done with it, and be willing to sit on your towel at the beach, which we were fully ready to do that. So what happens? He comes back, not even 5 minutes. He starts coming back. I guess he notices that we are about to put our, towels down. And he comes and brings the 2 chairs and the umbrella. And I hand him a $20 bill. So I'm just saying, decide what you want to pay and just stay with it. Bartering is bartering. But, if you feel, I didn't lowball the guy. I didn't say, hey, I'm going to give you $10 and I want, 3 chairs and 2 umbrellas or whatever. So I gave him what I thought fair market value was for that. And he took it. So he didn't really go broke. He wouldn't have gone broke. So anyway, just my bit of advice when you are going to countries where they will bombard you to buy things and try to persuade you. Have a number in mind if you want it, and if you don't feel pressured. So that concludes my hot list for cruising, hot list, packing list, and all the tips. Thanks so much for listening. Make sure that you tune in next week. I have a very special guest. She is hot, everyone is following her. Everyone is talking about her. I think she's on Jada Pinkett Smith's Red Table Talk. I'm sure she's going to be recognized by Oprah at some point. So make sure that you're following me, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and don't miss this next week's episode with Rachel Cargill. Thanks so much for listening, and keep rising in your story.